Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Nareshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 10th chapter, departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka. Text number 32 onwards. Ajat Shatru Pritanam Gopi Thai Madhudvisha Parebhya Shankita Sneha Prayunt Chatur Angini. Maharaj Yudhishthira, although no one's enemy, engaged 4 divisions of defense: horse, elephant, chariot, and army, to accompany Lord Krishna, the enemy of the asuras, demons. The Maharaj did this because of the enemy and also out of affection for the Lord. So here it is mentioned, although Maharaj Yudhishthira has no enemy, and he was nobody's enemy, but for Krishna it is mentioned he is the enemy of the demons, enemy of the asuras. So a devotee does not have enemies, but Krishna, the Lord, has. That is strange. Lord, actually, he does not have any enemies, but anybody who is not favorable towards his devotees, that's his number one enemy. So that's the enmity of the Lord. Otherwise, he is all full of mercy. That's all he is. Purport. Natural defensive measures are horses and elephants combined with chariots and men. Horses and elephants are trained to move to any part of the hills or forests and plains. The charioteers should fight with many horses and elephants by the strength of powerful arrows, even up to the standard of the Brahmastra. Maharaj Yudhishthira knew well that Krishna is everyone's friend and well-wisher, and yet there were asuras who were by nature envious of the Lord. So out of fear of attack from others and out of affection also, he engaged all varieties of defensive forces as bodyguards of Lord Krishna. Because Krishna was leaving for Dwarka from from Hastinapur, and it's a long way, and he would go by chariot. So Maharaj Yudhishthira arranged all this personal security for Krishna. If required, Lord Krishna himself was sufficient to defend himself from the attack of others who counted the Lord as their enemy. But still he accepted all the arrangements made by Maharaj Yudhishthira because he could not disobey the king, who was his elder cousin also. The Lord plays the part of a subordinate in his transcendental sporting, and thus sometimes he puts himself in the care of Yashoda Mata for his protection in his so-called helplessness of childhood. So this is basically the super transcendental loving exchanges between the Lord and his devotees. And Krishna reciprocates. Krishna goes along with these reciprocations. Here Prabhupada is written that sometimes he puts himself in the care of Yashoda Mata. And Yashoda Maya is so protective of Krishna. It is mentioned when she is in Nandagaon and Krishna goes every morning to the forest to take the cows for grazing. Yashoda Maya comes with Krishna to the outskirts of Nandagaon, and then she again hugs him and takes him back, and then Krishna again tries to go. Again she goes, brings him back, again hugs him. Again she is like, don't do this, don't do that in the forest, don't go out so much deep inside the forest, and this and that. Then Krishna again starts to go to the forest, and again she comes. No, 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 you don't do this, don't do, because she is so much of love, she has so much of affection for Krishna. And then she is so much of protective. And then finally Krishna gets kind of embarrassed, although he loves Yashoda Maya like anything. But then he gets embarrassed. Maya, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends. Then finally she lets him go. Okay, now you can go. So that's Yashoda Maya. And outside Nandagaon, or in the Nandagaon only, we saw this temple where they were how beloved. Two stones were there in the form of like animals. Very old stones. They are from 5,000 years ago. So the forms are gone pretty much, but they look like some kind of animals or some kind of goblins or something. So what had happened, Yashoda Maya would always tell Krishna and Balram, especially Krishna, okay, you are playing so long, but now you come and eat your food. Otherwise, how Bilal will come and just gobble you up. And Krishna and Balram, they would just come running, and they just didn't know who is how Bilal. What is how Bilal? And Yashoda Maya said, they are big, big demons, and they're like rakshas, and they'll come and eat you. So they would just trust Mother Yashoda and just come. But still, they would be playing with their friends. And one day it so happened, they were so late, they were playing with the friend, they would not come. And Yashoda Maya just went to call both of them, come, eat your lunch, it's too late, you've been playing too long. They wouldn't come. And then Yashoda Maya just kind of looked over their heads and she just ran towards back palace, back to the palace. Oh, how Bilal has come, how Bilal has come. And these two boys just ran after Yashoda Maya, just thinking this, I don't know who is this, how Bilal, and they have come. And they didn't even look back, they just ran. But actually these how Bilal, I mean, they were, it is said they were demons, or it is said they were some imaginative demons. But these two forms are still there. Actually, no demons could come inside Nandagaon. Nandagaon was protected by the curse on demons by some rishi. They could come in Gokul. They had attacked Gokul so many times, but not in Nandagaon. So these how below these forms are still there on the outskirts of Nandagaon. So whenever you go there, you can take darshan. So this is a loving reciprocation of Lord with his devotees. Lord comes under the care of his devotees. That's his special mercy. Although he is full of strength, that is one of his opulence, and he does not need anybody's protection. But out of love of his devotees, he comes under their care. Just like in our temples also, when we are dressing the deities, when it is cold, we put on shawl or sometimes put on sweaters on the deities. Why? Because devotees feel the Lord will get sick. And devotees, I mean, at homes, if you see, anytime they put the heater on, just for the Lord, just for the temple, so that Krishna should not get cold. So this is a loving reciprocation. This is what Krishna likes, and this is what purifies us actually. It is not for Krishna, it's for us, for our purification. First of all, we get out of the mentality that I'm the enjoyer, I'm the controller. Actually, Krishna is the controller, but I'm just trying to serve him. That's my position. And secondly, when we are engaging so many things, and including our desires, our intentions, our mood in the service of Krishna, that is our purification. So instead of thinking about us, I, me, and mine, we are thinking about Krishna. That is the perfection of life. And this is what he loves, and that's why he reciprocates so nicely with the devotees. And that is a perfection. And just like Bhishma Pitama, he had so much of reciprocation that even at the last moment, Krishna himself was there when Bhishma Pitama was leaving the body. So that is the kind of mutual reciprocation we want. So we keep on working, we keep on doing our sadhana, keep on doing our reading, chanting, everything, and at the same time, services also. So physical service is also very much required. Text 33. Athadura gatan shori kauravan virahaturam sannivartya dridam snigdham prayat swanagarim priyah. Out of profound affection for Lord Krishna, the Pandavas, who were of the Kuru dynasty, accompanied him a considerable distance to see him off. They were overwhelmed with the thought of future separation. The Lord, however, persuaded them to return home, and he proceeded towards Dwarka with his dear companions. So Pandavas also went for some distance, but Krishna sent them back. And then Krishna went towards Dwarka. Krujangal Panchalan Shrusenan Sayamunan Brahmavartam Kurukshetram Matsyam Sarasatanatha Marudhanva Matikramya Sovira Bhiruparan Anartan Bhargavo Paka Chran Tavaho Manag Vibhuhu. O Shonak, the Lord then proceeded towards Kurujangal, Panchal, Shurasen, the land on the bank of the river Yamuna, Brahmavrat, Kurukshetra, Matsya, Saraswata, and the province of the desert and the land of scanty water. After crossing these provinces, he gradually reached the Shovir and Abhir provinces. Then west of these reached Dwarka at last. The provinces passed over by the Lord in those days were differently named, but the direction given is sufficient to indicate that he traveled through Delhi, Punjab, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Saurashtra, and Gujarat, and at last reached his home province at Dwarka. We do not gain any profit simply by researching the analogous provinces of those days up to now, but it appears that the desert of Rajasthan and the provinces of scanty water like Madhya Pradesh were present even 5,000 years ago. So, just like in the shloka it says about the desert and the provinces of scanty water, names were different, but the desert of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh even was there at that time also. The theory of soil experts that the desert developed in recent years is not supported by the statements of Bhagavatam. Then Prabhupada says, we may leave the matter for expert geologists to research because the changing universe has different phases of historical development. We are satisfied that the Lord has now reached his own province, Dwarkadham, from the Kuru province. Kurukshetra continues to exist since the Vedic age, and it's sheer foolishness when interpreters ignore or deny the existence of Kurukshetra. So this Kuru Jangal, it's mentioned here in this verse also that was compiled, Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled 5,000 years ago. So this is what Prabhupada is saying, this Kurukshetra was then there that time also and now also. And when many interpreters, they just mention that, the land, actually the war of Mahabharata, it really did not happen. Our body is Kurukshetra and the five senses are five Pandavas and Krishna is the mind and this and that. Whatever nonsense, allegorical statements they come up with. But Kurukshetra was mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it existed at that time also. Text 36. Tatra tatra ha tatrayar hari prati udyata rana sayam bheje disham panchad gavishtu gam gatastada. On his journey through these provinces, he was welcomed, worshipped, and given various presentations. In the evening, in all places, the Lord suspended his journey to perform evening rites. This was regularly observed after sunset. It is said here that the Lord observed the religious principles regularly while he was on the journey. Thus, there are certain philosophical speculations that even the Lord is under the obligations of fruitive action. But actually, this is not the case. He does not depend on the action of any good or bad work. Since the Lord is absolute, everything done by him is good for everyone. But when he descends on earth, he acts for the protection of the devotees and for the annihilation of the impious non-devotees. Although he has no obligatory duties, still he does everything so that others may follow. Like in Gita, Krishna says, Yadyat acharti shreshtas tattat evetaro jana. So he does follow all the rules so that people, they don't have an excuse of not following. They should say, if Krishna can follow, Krishna follows, then we have no other excuse. So he was also doing all these rituals after sunset, evening rites like chanting of Gayatri mantra and whatever other pujas, whatever he used to do. He is self-sufficient and yet he acts according to the rulings of the revealed scriptures in order to teach us the process. If he does not do so, the common man may go wrong. But in the advanced stage, when one can understand the transcendental nature of the Lord, one does not try to imitate. That is not possible. The Lord in human society does what is duty of everyone, but sometimes he does something extraordinary and not to be imitated by the living beings. So he does these extraordinary things just to make sure that we understand he is the Supreme Lord and we are not. We are just fallen, conditioned souls. But still, we have to follow the rules of the scriptures, but we cannot imitate the doings of the Lord. Like Prabhupada then gives an example, it's not possible for us to imitate his mountain lifting or dancing with the gopis. Therefore, in all actions, the experienced guide, the spiritual master, who is the manifested mercy of the Lord, should always be consulted and the path of progress will be assured. Otherwise, we can make plenty of mistakes. So the 10th chapter ends here, but we still have time, so we can go to the next chapter. 11th chapter, Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwarka. Text 1. Sutuvacha Anartansa upavrijya swariddhan janpadan swakan dadmodarvaram tesham vishadam shamayan niva. Sud Goswami said, upon reaching the border of his most prosperous metropolis, known as the country of the Anarthas, Dwarka, the Lord sounded his auspicious conch shell, heralding his arrival and apparently pacifying the dejection of the inhabitants. So Krishna had come, he has just entered Dwarka, and so he sounded his conch shell, Panchjanya. The beloved Lord was away from his own prosperous metropolis of Dwarka for a considerably long period because of the battle of Kurukshetra, and thus all the inhabitants were overcome with melancholia due to the separation. When the Lord descends on the earth, his eternal associates also come with him, just as the entourage of a king accompanies him. Such associates of the Lord are eternally liberated souls, and they cannot bear the separation of the Lord even for a moment because of intense affection for the Lord. So this is the quality, this is the characteristic that we have to develop. The eternally liberated soul, the associates of the Lord, cannot bear the separation of the Lord even for a moment. Because of what? Because of the intense affection for the Lord. So that is a stage to be achieved. Then we would be qualified to go back to the spiritual world. Thus the inhabitants of the city of Dwarka were in a mood of dejection and expected the arrival of the Lord at any moment. At any moment. So how much they must be waiting for him for so many months. Just expecting his arrival. There were no WhatsApp messages or Facebook updates or Zoom there. If he had Zoom facility, then he could transmit, okay, what I'm fighting this war, everybody in Dwarka can see me. No. They had to see him through their own hearts. That was the best facility. So the heralding sound of the auspicious conch shell was very encouraging, and apparently the sound pacified their dejection. They were still more aspirant to see the Lord amongst themselves, and all of them became alert to receive him in the befitting manner. These are the signs of spontaneous love of God. Just like recently with this Lord Jagannath Rath Yatra was held in Jagannath Puri. So many people, you see the road, I mean, you can see on pictures everywhere on the net, see the road. So many people are just standing and standing and standing. waiting for Lord Jagannath to come out. And how they welcome him when he comes out. It's an amazing sight. And then everybody is so enthusiastic to go and pull his chariot. That is real love of God. Somebody can say, oh, so many people are there, they will go and pull the chariot. Now, why do I have to go? I mean, it's not by my pulling Lord will come, so why do I go? No, we go because we want to participate. It's not that Jagannath Ji needs our service. No. We need that service for our purification, to show him our love, to show him our gratitude. That's all. It's not that Jagannath needs us. We need him. So that's why so many lakhs and lakhs of people are there just to take his darshan. And it's so hot and humid and crowded and people faint over there. Because everybody standing so close together, the body heat is so much and then the atmospheric heat is there. People faint. Of course, government makes arrangements, but still. Why? Because they want to see the Lord coming out of the temple and sitting on the chariot and the chariot moving towards Gundicha temple. It's just amazing sight. Or sometimes it's also said, it's not that people want to see the Lord. They want to mark their presence so Lord can see them. Okay, this boy has come, this girl has come, this man has come, this lady has come for my Rath Yatra. That's good. So he marks everybody's attendance. So and so and so and so have come. So that's also one of the moods of the devotees. So we go there not to see the Lord, so that Lord can see us. Okay, he has come, she has come. And he remembers. Obviously, he can remember everything, past, present, future. He knows everything. Actually, this was told to me by Rashmi. She said, you should come, otherwise Krishna gets, and Jagannath Ji gets sad. Oh, this devotee used to come for so many years, now he hasn't come. Why he hasn't come? So he feels that those kind of moods of sadness. Text 2. Sa uchchakashe dhavalo daro daro api urukramasya dharano dhar shon shomena Dadh maya mana karkanj sampute yathabj khande kalhans utsvana. The white and fat bowled conch shell, being gripped by the hand of Lord Krishna and sounded by him, appeared to be reddened by the touch of his transcendental lips. It seemed that a white swan was playing in the stems of red lotus flowers. The redness of the white conch shell due to the lip touch of the Lord is a symbol of spiritual significance. The Lord is all spirit and matter is ignorance of its spiritual existence. Factually, there is nothing like matter in spiritual enlightenment, and this spiritual enlightenment takes place at once by the contact of the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna. The Lord is present in every particle of all existence, and He can manifest His presence from anything and everything by the spiritual enlightenment of the devotee. Otherwise, He reserves the right of not being exposed to anyone and everyone. By ardent love and devotional service to the Lord, or in other words, by spiritual contact with the Lord, everything becomes spiritually reddened, like the conch shell in the grip of the Lord. And the Paramhansa, or the supremely intelligent person, plays the part of the duckling swan in the water of spiritual bliss, eternally decorated by the lotus flower of the Lord's feet. It's a very, very poetic verse. So the conch shell Krishna was holding and he blew on it. So by the touch of the lips of Krishna, the conch shell became, at least the part where lips were touched, that became reddened. So it felt like a swan moving around the stems, playing in the stems of red lotus flowers. So Prabhupada in the Prabhupada is saying the matter, there are two things, spiritual and matter. The Lord is all spirit, and matter is ignorance of this spiritual existence. But when that matter comes in contact with spirit, then it becomes spiritualized. In the last line, he says, by ardent love and devotional service to the Lord, or in other words, by spiritual contact with the Lord, everything becomes spiritually reddened, like the conch shell in the grip of the Lord. So that's what we have to do. Although our mind is material, bodies are material, consciousness is material, but as long as we engage it in the service of the Lord, it will also become spiritualized. Then we can play like the duckling swan in the water of spiritual bliss, eternally decorated by the lotus flower of the Lord's feet. This is spiritual bliss is where at the Lord's lotus feet. And we can play like the duckling swan at the Lord's lotus feet. We are having taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So we can also experience that bliss, spiritual bliss, even while living in the material world, in the material body, if we are engage ourselves in the complete service of the Lord. It's also possible. It's very much practical, very much possible. So I'll stop here, see anybody has any questions or comments. So I guess no questions, so we can stop then. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.